Hi, it's Cheryl. Welcome to Homeward Studio. For today's video, I have 3 spring and or Easter Dollar Tree ideas to share with you. And there's a bonus because one of them is a double-sided piece. Anyway, let's just jump right into the video. Number 1. This is side A, and here's side B. So I picked this up from the Dollar Tree. And you can use any flowers from the Dollar Tree. I just had these in my stash. They're from Walmart. I'm pretty sure they still have them. I have this little piece of ribbon, but that's the same kind. It's from the Dollar Tree. And I have some buttons from Walmart, but the Dollar Tree has those too. And I also have some of this rope. So I'm just going to take this rope and I'm going to glue it all the way around the piece here. So notice how I started up at top on the point there. There's a reason I did that, because it's easier to hide that way. And I just did this in little sections because it was easier. And I was afraid, I tried to do it that way, but it stuck to my mat. So I didn't want glue all over my mat, even though if that happens, you can take a blow dryer and it will melt it. But it's kind of a pain, so I didn't do it. So I just did it in sections. It took a little while to do it this way, but I was able to really control it where the rope was placed and everything. So I just went all the way around. It's just one full piece, didn't cut it anywhere. And then at the end here, sorry, it's a little out of screen, but you'll see what I do. I take it, I cut it kind of on an angle, and then I put some hot glue in there on both of those ends, and I smush it together. I waited, this video is sped up a little bit, I waited a couple seconds for the hot glue to be not so hot, and I squished it together. But if you do it, use your finger protectors. And now I'm gonna zhuzh this sign up. So I just removed that little itty bitty tail there, and I had another one. They sell these at the Dollar Tree too, in a big pack of them, and I put a bigger tail on them. And then I took my lighter here. I don't like this hairy rope stuff or hairy jute. It drives me crazy. Anyway, so I just took that. If you do that, make sure that you have water. I always have water by me, and behind me is my sink because I craft in my kitchen still right now. Anyway, I have this beaded garland that I got from the Dollar Tree. I have a ton of these, and I'm just going to make a beaded hanger. And I was going to use a jute hanger, that's why I didn't show you in the beginning, but then I thought, you know, it's kind of dull with that jute hanger, so I wanted to use my beads, and plus I have a ton of them. So as you can see, I just removed a bunch of the beads, made it as long as, you know, I wanted it to be, you know, just to my liking. And then I pulled them through, and I just double knotted the jute here. And then I cut it off, and now I'm going to put a little dollop of glue right there so it doesn't pull through. It shouldn't, because I double knotted that pretty good. And then I put a little dollop of glue on the front as well. And now I just wanted to use this little piece. I had a whole nother, you know, spool or whatever you call it of it, and no, I wanted to use this little piece, but as you can see, it was too small for me to do my awareness bow. So I dovetailed the ends, and then I just rolled it. So I folded part of it up and part of it down, rolled it, and it worked perfectly well. So I put that little clamp there to hold it down so I can get my jute in there and tie it, and that's what I did. And I just fluffed it out a little bit before I hot glued it down there. And I have another button here. I'm going to pop that right on in the middle. to hide the jute. You could put anything there. You could put flowers there. You could put a bead there. There's all kinds of ideas. You could put another bow on top of that too. That would be super cute. And now we're going to do the other side. I have this sheer ribbon from the Dollar Tree. It's really tough, kind of. It's kind of wonky to use, but I was able to do it, and I just made 3 loops on both sides like that. And it took me a while to do that. I didn't show you that. I did cut all that out, or I edited all that out because that was just really floppy, but it's very pretty. And I did the same thing. I had to put that clamp down there, and I just took some jute and tied it off. You can use anything. I just always use jute because I have a ton of it, and I have it with me all the time. And you could use, you know, pipe cleaners. You could use any kind of string, yarn. Like I said, this is just what I grabbed. This is my go-to. Now I'm going to dovetail the ends here. And I'm just going to kind of pull this apart a little bit and then glue it right there on top to hide that little hanger knot. And then I have these left over from Valentine's Day. They're the wood pieces from the Dollar Tree. And I have this, it is a metallic pink acrylic paint, and that was from the Dollar Tree. They had several colors, and I bought a bunch of them. And I told you I had 2 or 3 coats. I put 3 coats on this because it is very, very thin. You can see through it very easily. So yeah, I just put some tape down there so it wouldn't move, put it on top of that, gave it 3 coats, dried it between each one. And then I had a little bit of that sheer ribbon left when I dovetailed the ribbon there, and I put it on the back of those lips. I hot glued it on there, and the reason I did that is because if I would have put those lips on there, you would have seen the jute, little jute through that. And so just putting that little piece of ribbon in the back there, you can't see through it at all. And so now I was just going to put a flower on each corner, and then I thought, no, I think it would be prettier if I just lined the whole bottom with the flowers, just to jazz it up a little bit more. And so I just have these little flowers from the Dollar Tree, and I just went across the entire bottom. And I wanted to just glue just the tip of this ribbon onto the rope there. I just put a teeny amount of hot glue because obviously you can see the glue through the very sheer ribbon. And that says bunny kisses. That's why I used the little lips. I thought that would be super cute. And so now I'm just clipping 3 of these flowers out, 1 yellow and 2 purple. And the reason I'm using the purple and the yellow is because in the ribbon from the Dollar Tree, you can see there's many different colors in there, but I think the purple and the yellow really popped. That's what I liked anyway. So I'm just gluing these up on top. Very easy, very simple, and this brought it like from dull and boring to beautiful. I think this turned out so pretty, and I love how it's a double-sided piece. And this is just so quick and so easy to make. And you could put spring on one side, you could put paper on one side and have it, you know, summer, you can do so many things with this. But I thought one would be Easter and one would be kind of, you know, Easter spring. Okay, number 2. And this is a shelf sitter, or it could be a tiered tray piece. And here's what I have. This wood is from the Dollar Tree. Oh, I have a sanding block. It's pretty beat up, as you can see. That was from the Dollar Tree too. And of course my jute. I just had these, I'm pretty sure those flowers were from the Dollar Tree, but they were just in my stash, and some leaves. The wood pieces are from the Dollar Tree. This scrapbook piece is not, you can use anything. They do have scrapbook at the Dollar Tree, but it's plain. And then these are from Hobby Lobby. I ran out of the Dollar Tree ones and I couldn't find them, so I went and bought those from Hobby Lobby. I have the antique wax and a glue stick. And so I just spelled spring, and now I'm just taking the antique wax and I'm just basically staining it. I don't want this so dark because my paper is gray. I wanted it lighter so it popped off the paper. And by the way, if you wanted to get all your stuff from the Dollar Tree, they have packs of plain scrapbook paper. You can buy some stampers and you can just stamp the background very lightly on the paper, and that would give it some really interesting character. Or you can you can take plain paper and just put like little circles on there, like the end of a pencil, or something flat like the end of a paintbrush or something. You can just put little polka dots all over paper like that too. I just have an abundance of scrapbook paper, and I just bought more because the AmericanCrafts.com had a vault sale, and I bought a bunch of stuff. And I want to do a haul for you guys, but I want to do a haul when I do my crafts, so that will be in an upcoming video, and I can show you all the goodies I got. Okay, so as you can see, I just put the glue stick all around the paper here, and I took my brayer and I'm going up and down and across, and now I have my very sharp X-Acto knife and I'm just removing the edges. So I always cut my paper a little bit bigger, because before I used to do it shorter, and then if something goes wrong, you get burned. Somehow, some way, it's always ends up being shorter. So I cut it just slightly bigger. I'd rather cut off the excess than have a piece that's too short. And then as you can see, I took and I sanded that really well, and I wanted the distressed edges. Then I took my, I painted it. You saw that too. I don't know why I'm leaving all this out, because I'm just talking about all my purchases that I don't need to be purchasing. Anyway, back to the project. I took when I stained the wood, the back and the sides, I kept that baby wipe, and then I just took it and ran it across the scrapbook paper so it distressed it. Then as you saw, I glued the flower on there, and then now I'm just going to take and glue the twine around here. I think I wrapped it around about 7 times. So I just took a bead of hot glue, and then I took the twine and I kind of rolled it around in there, so the whole piece in the back has glue on it. And then I just wrapped it around like I am now, and then I'll put more glue on in a second. So I put a bunch of glue on the back here just to hold it all together. And then I put a little bit in the front as well, just in various places to hold that together. And now I could have probably just used hot glue on this. It would have been fine because you're sticking wood onto paper. You can use Eileen's tacky glue. For some reason, overkill. This is Gorilla Glue. I like it because it has the paintbrush on it. But by the time I was done, because those letters were so small, I had like glue all over my fingers. That was kind of tough to get off. So now I have this little bird. Oh, I made a raffia. I made a jute bow. And I glued it up there. And then I have from that little wood pack there, I grabbed a couple of these. There's a couple different ones. I've been using these a lot lately. I like them. And I just grabbed the bird. Didn't stain it or anything. I just like how it kind of popped. If I stained it, I think it would have got lost in the jute. But this is how it turned out. And I think this is super cute. Super easy to make. Okay, last but not least, number 3. And this can be a wall hanger. I have this plate from the Dollar Tree. As you can see, it's white and it has like little silver beads around it. I have these 3 pieces of picks from the Dollar Tree. The ribbon is from the Dollar Tree. And I also believe I got this. It's called a flower sack. It's from the Dollar Tree as well. And you can use any kind of material for this. And I know the Dollar Tree sells material. I just kind of wanted to make something a little bit light and airy. So I'm taking these picks and I'm just going to, I was going to cut them off and I thought, I don't need to because it's going to be covered up. I'm just bending them down. I put them in the middle of the tray and I want them to not quite touch the top of the tray. So that's kind of how I measured it. I just eyeballed it. Bent all 3 pieces up like that, and then I took some jute and tied it. Because I wanted them to all stay together and not to flop anywhere. And now I have E6000. And I am going to glue where the stems touch the tray. I am going to glue them down there because hot glue, they will pull right off. They won't even last 5 seconds. If I moved it or touched it, it would pop off because, you know, hot glue doesn't stick to plastic. So anyway, I put a little bit of the hot glue on there just to give it the temporary quick hold, and then the E6000 there. And the little key is called a toothpaste key, and I got that off Amazon. Now I take this and I cut off a piece. I was trying to figure out how I was going to do this. I was going to wrap it around the back, and then I decided that I didn't want it, and I was going to use the straight edge, but then I liked the rough edge better for the top and for the bottom as well. And I decided I wasn't going to wrap it around the back at all. And because this is so thin, I had to actually fold it over several times. I think like 4 times so you didn't see through it. And so here, what I'm doing is I'm just kind of squinching it up at the bottom. Kind of like fanning it out a little bit. I hope that makes sense. I can't think of the right word to use right now, but I just wanted it gathered. That's the word, gathered, not fan. And then as you can see, I made an awareness bow after I glued the flower sack all down there. And I'm going to dovetail the ends here. And then I thought this would be interesting to just wrap the jute around here. Instead of hiding it, we'll go with it. But after I glued this on there, I really did not like that. It just didn't look finished. And instead of putting a button in there, because that's what I do all the time, buttons and, you know, stuff like that, I decided that I was going to put a jewel in there. And those were my daughter's feet. She was over, she brought my grandbaby, and I said, well, I got to make a video. So she said, okay, I'll wait. Anyway, yeah, so this is it. I just put the little jewel on there. I got that from a local dollar store. You can go to a thrift store and get little gems like that and just pop one in there. You can put a pearl in there, but I wanted this to be light and airy and elegant and very spring-like. And yeah, this is how it turned out, and I love this so much. I think it's so pretty. I did not put a hanger on it. You could put a hanger on it. And here is the whole shebang. All of the pieces that I made today together, and the 3 pieces from my last video, which was a thrift flip video. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. I hope that I've inspired you. Remember to subscribe, like, share, hype, and all that good stuff. And I will be back real soon. And until then, you have a blessed week. Bye.